Welcome to the first ever Valley podcast with Aaron and Manny, presented by Empower Sportsnet. I am your host, Aaron Greer.
And I'm Manny.
We are very excited to start this show to help spread the word about our new organizations here in Oregon. And by doing so, we're going to be speaking with those involved in athletics, current and former athletes, coaches, administrators, scouts, and everyone in between. And that being said, it's my privilege to welcome our first ever guest, native Oregonian, former North Eugene Highlander, Eugene Challenger, Oregon State Beaver, and current Detroit Tigers pitcher, Mr. Andrew Moore. Andrew, welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. It's a lot of pressure being the first guest on this one, so appreciate you guys having me on, though. I'm pretty excited, so let's get it rolling.
Awesome. I think more pressure's on us to try and keep this flowing. So Andrew, you're at the Tigers now. Where are you at right now?
So we're about 2.5 weeks into spring training. We're out in Lakeland, Florida, just about 45 minutes from Tampa. I'd never really been out in Florida too much, so I didn't know where everything was, but we're pretty close to Tampa. Yeah, we got games going, I think 4 or 5 days ago. So, I got games every day now. And, baseball's slowly getting back into the swing of things, which is nice. And, just trying to find ways to continue to get better and just get ready for, a good season coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So outside of sports, you recently became a father. Congrats.
Thank you.
How's the dad life treating you?
It's been good. Yeah, I got, that was kind of the blessing of the 2020 season not happening. I didn't play at all with the Reds, but, never got the chance to actually play. So I got to be there for the whole time my wife was pregnant, got to be there for when our daughter was born, and then got to be there for the first 3.5 months or so of her life. So, any other year, there's no way that would have been the case. So, we were really fortunate to, be able to have that experience together as a family. So that was pretty cool. I'm missing them like crazy, but they're coming out here in about a week or so. So that'll be a lot of fun. But man, it's been good. It's hard. It's, just every time they cry or something's wrong, you just feel it like 10 times worse than anything you thought you could have experience just in your heart. So it's definitely life-changing experience welcoming especially a little girl into this world, but we're so fortunate and she's healthy and doing great so far, so we're loving it.
Awesome. Happy for you guys. Absolutely. So when you were a kid here in Oregon, what were the sports you grew up playing? Was it just strictly baseball, or what were you doing?
Any and everything. I did some taekwondo, did baseball, did basketball, did football, did soccer, tackle football, flag football. So I guess those are nice. Different sports, I guess. But I don't know, just trying to find any way to stay active. Pick up games with, Ryan Delaney or whoever in our neighborhood whenever we could, or, wiffle ball games, just trying to do stuff to just have some fun outside and, like I said, just stay active and have fun, especially those few months where the weather's good enough. You got to enjoy every single day that you can be outside. So, growing up, going to the Challenger games, watching you play, Aaron, and going to North Eugene basketball and football and baseball games. I was a ball boy for the North football team. So just trying to find any way to play sports and compete, really.
Is that something that you personally pursued, or is that something that your family also encouraged?
Definitely I was pursuing. Both my parents were huge sports fans. They grew up in the Bay Area, so we watched the Giants and the Warriors and the Niners and all those teams. So that was kind of our family time, was watching those games and, going to Giants games or going to Warriors games, or just kind of developing that love for sports. And I had a brother that's 4 years older, so I'd always go to all of his practices and getting to compete against, all his friends and teammates that were way bigger and stronger and faster than me, and just, beating me up all the time. So that was always fun. But it was definitely something that I just loved. you have endless energy when you're a kid. So you want to always just go out and do stuff and have fun and, just keep finding ways to, I don't know, have fun in different ways with your friends.
Yeah, that actually kind of goes into one of the questions I have for you. I was going to ask, based on your experience growing up here in Oregon, what are your thoughts to organize competitive sports here? Was it overall positive for you, or do you believe that there was something more that could have been done?
It was definitely positive. So I did travel basketball, did, the Eugene Challengers, like we had a little youth Eugene Challengers team that we did to play tournaments and stuff. But I mean, there was a ton of different options for different skill levels. There was, opportunities for any sport that you wanted to play. So, personally, I loved it. It was, really good to me. I was able to, always have a team to be on, always had, opportunities to play. And, I know for a lot of kids, maybe that's not the case. So I was really fortunate with that. My parents were able to, get me to and from the field and, help me get to tournaments, little stuff like that. So, I had a great experience growing up, and especially in youth sports where, there's a lot of times you're playing two sports at once, whether it's, baseball and basketball overlapping or basketball and football or whatever it may be. So it was always crazy times, but it was really enjoyable for me.
Good.
So, you had a lot of success in high school, state title at North Eugene. Can you dive into what the recruiting process was like? Like, the number of teams that were coming after you, or was it just straightforward, like, I don't care what anyone else says, I'm going to be a Beaver?
Oh man, it was fun. It was, I didn't do a lot of the showcases. I wasn't hugely recruited or a huge prospect by any means, but even just with the few schools I was talking to, it was such a hard decision trying to contemplate this versus that and trying to weigh the different options. And ultimately it came down to Oregon or Oregon State. Couldn't really go wrong either way, but there were just a few little smaller things that Oregon State did that helped me feel more comfortable there, and I felt like that was the right place for me. But I remember like the very first like recruiting letter that Oregon sent me, they probably sent to, I don't know, 400 kids or whatever. It was, typed out. I remember I got that and I took a picture of it and was like sending it to all my friends and thinking it was like the coolest thing in the world. And then I think like Stanford sent me one too, and I was like just thinking I was like the greatest thing. It was just it was, I don't know, really hard making that decision. But my family and I had people around us who were helping us out a lot, and I don't know, just always finding ways to just get us the info that we need to help us make the right decision for our family.
For sure. Yeah, I know for me, like I didn't get any D1 offers, but my senior year going in, in the winter, I started getting letters. The first letter I got was from the Tampa Bay Rays. And like that, you get that out of your mailbox, and it's like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. It's like it's a neat thing, but then like once you start getting those other ones, when other letters start rolling in, like I got one from the Phillies, and then I got one from the Padres, and it's like, oh wow, this is real. Like the first one's like it's cool, but as more start rolling in, it's like this is a real thing. It's such a surreal moment when you actually realize that something that you've worked so hard for it could actually come to fruition.
And it's so hard for baseball though, because so many people get those letters, but like the work doesn't, like you have to keep getting better and you have to keep progressing. Like that's not a scholarship offer when you're getting one of those letters. Like so many people I think get those and think they're on their way, but you have to keep getting ways and they want to see that progress. So especially in baseball where there's a 5-man roster with only 11 scholarships, they're hard to come by. So you have to keep working and keep finding ways to get better. And I think Coach Nicholson and my parents and Keith Strange, some of the other people we had around us really helped instill that of like, okay, this is cool, but our goal is bigger, to keep getting better and enjoying this, but knowing that there's a lot more work to be done. So, I just had a lot of people in my corner that were helping me to, stay on track and,
stay level headed.
Yeah, 100%. You need that. You definitely need people like that.
Yeah, it seems like you had a great support team there. Did that help a lot too, mentally, just preparing for games and like just having mental coaches there?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Nicholson was big about that. Making sure you, kept your head on right and you were working hard and, talking through, different ways to, stay mentally strong during the game, whether it was, a bad at bat, finding a way to flush that and get ready for the next one, or a bad pitch, getting that one passed and going on to the next pitch. Stuff that when you say it, it sounds simple, but like when you're actually in the heat of the game and, you're a freshman on varsity or whatever, everything starts speeding up where it's hard to process things clearly. So, Coach Nicholson was really good about that. And, like I said, I just had a lot of people around me that, Aaron and Keith Strange and, people that had played at the next level that had gone through experiences that were able to, pass down some knowledge like that, helps you out. And that was huge. Just learning from guys who have been through it before.
So kind of on that note, I know one thing I used to do to get over the bad at bat, or you throw the ball away on a back pick to first or something. I was a catcher. So one physical tool I did is I would actually reach down, grab a rock, and just squeeze it in my hand as hard as I could and just let all that frustration go. And then as soon as I tossed it before that next play, that was it. It was gone. I was cleared. I let my aggression out. Did you have anything like that as some sort of mental or physical release to help you move on to that next play?
Yeah, for me, it was, I'll just talk from a pitching perspective because that's what I'm most familiar with, but it was always getting off the mound. So get off the dirt, get onto the grass, get away from it, and then, take your hat off, do whatever, and then find, second base or the foul pole. Find something that at every single stadium is going to be there, where if you can find that and then just give yourself, 20 seconds to, just get a few good deep breaths, clear it, and then focus in on, the next batter, whatever it may be. But having some consistent routine, like for Aaron, it was picking up the rock. For some guys, they'd go in the bathroom and actually flush the toilet, and that would kind of give them that release. But finding something that works for you to get, just get past whatever the, failure or whatever it may be, and moving on to be able to succeed the next time out. And like I said, for me, it was using my breath intentionally and using it to kind of move on to the next one. So, there's dozens of different ways that, kids can do it, but that was what worked best for me.
Is that something you still do now too, right? You're still a professional player, so I'm sure you deal with some of that stress now.
Yeah, absolutely. If, there's a bad pitch or a, whatever it may be, something where it kind of gets you out of your element or gets you out of, full compete mode, then you need to be able to catch that, which is definitely the first step. And then, getting away from the mound, getting out of the box, getting out of whatever, and then not getting back into the box, back onto the mound until you're ready to compete and you're ready to, lock in on the next pitch. Or, we're just talking baseball right now, but I'm sure every sport has a similar thing that you can do. But
just making. Oh, sorry. I end up doing like my own hype man kind of thing, like find some words of affirmation and just start yelling it. Hype myself up, like when it gets tough, man, you got to find a way to dig deep. So definitely.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's just whatever you have to do to make sure when, when it's your time up, you're in the best possible physical and mental shape to compete at your best as you can. So that's what it comes down to. And for everyone, that's going to be different. So that's kind of the beauty of sports is it's different for everyone. You can't just follow exactly like someone else does.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of switch gears a little bit. Like I remember like my draft day experience and watching the rounds go by and just the anticipation. Can you tell me what draft day was like for you? Supplemental first round, right?
Second. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude. Yeah. It was crazy, man. I had no idea going into the draft. I didn't have an agent. Like, we had some guys that were helping us out, but like, me and my mom were taking all the calls from the from the scouting directors, from from everyone. I was trying to do finals, and I'd be getting like 10 calls, and it was just crazy. But yeah, we had no idea. Some people said, we see you in, this round. Some people said we see you in the 15th round. Some people said, there's just no way to know. So we had like a little draft day party thing set up, but we didn't do it until day 2, because we were like, we don't want to do it day 1. Then if I don't go, it's kind of awkward and weird. So we were like, let's just do it for yeah. So we were like, let's just do it for for day 2. Like, let's be safe, and we should be able to for sure be picked by then. And so I was sitting there, and my buddy was taken here, next guy was taken here, and was super pumped for him. But like, you kind of have that feeling of like, when's my name going to be called? And then towards the end, probably like middle of the second round, I was just like, I was done with it. Like, I couldn't take anymore. So I was about to like leave and go take the dog on a walk or go do something else. And then like, right as I was about to leave, my mom's phone rang, and then she was like, the Seattle Mariners want to take you with this pick. Like, would you accept it for this much money? And then I was like, obviously, like, yes. And so then, we knew that like teams call, I don't know, probably 3 or so guys to make sure that they're ready. Cause you can't just decide on one guy. Then if he gets picked, the pick before yours is out, then you don't really have an option. So we didn't even know for sure if I was getting taken. And then Ken Griffey Jr. walked on the stage, and I was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. The sweat was pouring out. My heart was beating through my chest. I was pacing. And then he called my name, and I was just, oh my goodness, I was jumping up and down. There was tears. There was, making sure I was awake. I was like pinching myself. But yeah, it was pretty special. But it was low key though. It was just me and my parents and a couple family friends. But looking back on it, I think that's kind of how I preferred it to go.
Yeah, it makes it
more my personality. But yeah, we just got to enjoy it, and I didn't sleep at all that night. And then went up to Seattle, I think the next day, pretty much, for physicals and all that stuff. But man, it was just the whole.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing. And kind of dovetailing off of that, I remember your first MLB start, ironically against the Tigers. I wasn't able to watch it, but I was here in Portland, and they broadcast all the Mariners games here in Portland. And so I'm on my way to a softball game that I'm playing in. And so I'm listening, and your first inning, you faced 3 former All-Stars. You got Ian Kinsler, Alex Avila, and possibly one of the greatest hitters of all time, Miguel Cabrera. That my first time on the mound, that's what I got to do. What is going through your mind out there, like when you see Miggy step into the batter's box?
I can tell you there was a whole lot of times in that game where I got off the mound, took off my hat, found second base, and had to kind of gather myself. But it wasn't too bad. It was, going into the game, obviously the nerves were, tenfold whatever they were draft night. Like, you're, especially with that. I mean, there was a lot of good bats in that lineup. They had, I think, JD Martinez, they had Castellanos, they had Avila, they had Upton, they had Miggy, they had Kinsler. Like, that was a really good team. And like, trying to figure out the scouting report, they had this huge page with like stats and numbers and batting average versus this, and all this stuff that you're trying to take in that you've never had before. But they did a really good job making sure to give me the data that was digestible, and making sure I stuck to who I was as a pitcher, and just go out there and compete. But once the game got going, the nerves kind of settled down, and you're so locked in on scouting report, on just kind of game situation stuff, that the nerves kind of settle in. But yeah, Miggy was definitely a cool one. Where that's a guy. I mean, I've had posters of him on my wall. I've had his baseball cards traded for, and watched him on TV a bunch. So that was, really cool getting to compete against him. And that was a really special night too. And especially being in Seattle, just a few hours away, had a lot of family and friends that were there, and people who supported me since, I was pitching at North Eugene, and then, getting to go watch me pitch there. So I've been really lucky with a lot of the people who've been in my corner. So that was special sharing that night with them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Random question. Best nickname you've ever gotten in sports? Because I know Amo, we got, Paul Yarborough, the Red Storm.
Yeah.
What's the best nickname that you've been tagged with?
Amo's the classic one. I think more people call me by that than, Andrew or anything else. That kind of followed me up to Oregon State, so a lot of people called me that. Red Storm was given to me by Coach Yeski, actually, and at Oregon State, when I had the red curly hair that was all the way out here, and it'd be flowing out my hat, and those days are far behind me. But I gotta go with that one. That one's classic. So probably Red Storm, which hopefully doesn't doesn't get too out there, but it's
we're leading the revolution, bringing it back.
You mentioned that you were in Florida
Perfect.
for training. How's COVID impacted that for your guys' season?
So they just announced yesterday AAA is being delayed. So AAA and all the way down. So all minor leagues aren't starting until at least early May. So I don't know what that's going to look like exactly, but there's definitely some stuff that has changed. Like we have to show up early in the morning every other day, so 4 or 5 days a week for COVID testing, and we have to wear masks as much as we can in the weight room or throughout the clubhouse. They just kind of limit how many people are in a certain area at a certain time. So there's definitely some changes, but we're still able to do everything we need to do to get ready for the year, which is really good. They're making sure that we're smart, so we can't be, out, eating in a restaurant with a bunch of people around. We have to, keep our distance and just be smart about who we're around and what we're doing to make sure that, we're ready to go when the season starts.
Yeah, just kind of laying low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of dovetail off of that. What was last year like for you? You mentioned that you got to spend, a lot of time with your family and it's invaluable time with that. But like mentally, being an athlete and not being able to do what you love to do, what kind of challenges do you have to overcome mentally with that? And what did you do in the meantime to keep yourself in the right mindset and keep pushing forward?
Man, that was really hard. So going back to end of 2019, got released by the Mariners after the year, didn't really know what the future was going to hold for baseball. We were praying for an opportunity, but, it was coming off a tough year, and just had no idea then, got married a couple months later. So there was a lot of changes going on, and then, signed with the Reds right before COVID hit. So didn't even get to go out to spring training. So I never even left Texas. And, they said, 2 weeks, this whole thing will be over with. We'll have everyone back. We'll be playing. So I was like, all right, cool. Obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, it was a really weird time, just not being able to, do a lot of things that you kind of, I don't want to say we took for granted, but like being able to travel and go see family, or being able to go out to restaurants, or being able to, I don't know, those countless things that 2020 kind of, challenges 2020 presented us with. But, being able to be there, we bought a house. So being able to be there for that process, being there for my wife's whole pregnancy was huge. Just a lot of things that, I was really glad I was able to be around for. So that was huge for me. But in terms of baseball, I mean, it was a whole year to just get better. I mean, you don't have to worry about staying fresh for games. You don't have to do anything. So, getting in the weight room and committing to that, not having to deal with travel. So your recovery is a lot better. I was working on, 2 new pitches. So it was huge having, 6 days a week to just go in and throw and not have to stay fresh to throw 100 pitches for a start. So just a lot of things that you never get as an athlete. Just time to get better was just huge. The Reds coaches were awesome in helping me have all the tools needed to get better. So that was awesome. But I was able to compete, throw live at bats against high school kids, college kids, pro kids, retired guys. Like I was throwing against whoever would step in the box. So it was just finding ways to compete. I find myself like my wife and I would go play pickleball in our neighborhood, and I'd be like, slamming the ball and like celebrating, just like the like competitive juices were definitely there, and just like finding their way, out and just everything. But it was a really strange year, but I think I grew a ton from it, and our marriage grew a lot stronger, and I was able to improve a lot on the mound that I probably wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So I was, just really happy with how that went. So it was, definitely a crazy year, but a lot of good came from it, as well as, some challenges.
Awesome. So, kind of going off of that, how important is mental health to you in your day-to-day, personally and professionally? What do you do to help keep your mind right?
It's huge. It's, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a, banker, whether you're a lawyer, just knowing you're far more than just your job or whatever it may be. But, for me, just trying to, I like the analogy of like a cup, and just finding things that fill up your cup that add value to who you are. So, for some people, they love being around people. They have to be, in big groups and doing this and that, or, for me, it's quiet time by myself, just, listen to a podcast or, watching TV or spending time with my wife. But just having people around you that can help just, I don't know, make you the best person that you can be, that share common values, that, just help you to, I don't know, fill up your cup and just help you to be the best possible person you can be. And, I think it was Pat Casey would always say, like, show me your, 3 or 4 best friends, and I'll show you, what your future will look like. And I think that's huge, of just finding people to surround yourself with that are going to help you do whatever is possible to be the best you can be. And that's just not just in sports. That's in everything in life. People that push you to be the best you can be, and just help you to just live the best life that you can. So, it's definitely something that should not be taken lightly, and, something to just improve every single day if you can.
Yeah, awesome. It's really neat that you were able to take the time away to really improve yourself and your family life. And, unfortunately, it's had an opposite effect on a lot of people. So, hearing the positives that came from it is definitely a nice story to hear, for sure. So, unfortunately, we can't play ball forever. There's always that time. What are your plans for after baseball? Do you want to stay involved in it? Do you want to coach somewhere? Do you want to teach? What's the goal for when the game's all done with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna pitch till I'm 45 and make all the millions and everything. No, that's what everyone thinks. But yeah, like you said, the game at some point comes to an end, and there's definitely people fortunate enough to make life-changing money, and not have to do anything else. But who you are as a person is far greater than as an athlete. So I kind of go back and forth a lot about coaching or going into teaching, or there's some other opportunities that I've kind of toyed with in my head. But I think once the game comes to an end, definitely taking as much time as I can with my family and going to finish up school. I have about a year left. So that's kind of going to be where I use that transition period of finish up school and, really think through what's going to be the best choice to pursue that's going to help out, where I can be the best dad I can be and be the best husband. Because, baseball is hard, where, we're only together for 3 or 4 months out of the year. Like it would be hard going, finishing playing and going right back into coaching or something when I'm not around a, good chunk of the year. So, family is incredibly important to me, and I want to make sure that, whatever the next step is, it's something where, I can be as committed and helpful to them as I can be. So, once I throw my last pitch, whenever that is, finishing up school will definitely be the next step. And, we had negotiated my contract that gets paid for. So that'll be, really nice being able to finish that up. And then, who knows after that? It's exciting. It's kind of, you hope it doesn't come for a while, but at some point it will come. And then it's, just seeing what's best for our family.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I've got a 3-year-old daughter, and we've got number 2 on the way here. We don't know what the sex is, but they're going to join us. Due date's April 20th, and it's just any career change that you're looking into or job, like how is it going to impact? I want to make sure that I've got the flexibility. If they're into athletics, I want to be able to go to every game.
Yeah.
If they're into ballroom dancing, I want to be there. It doesn't matter. I want to be there to support them. Orchestra, I want to be at every single miss any of those. So just having that flexibility and being that extra support. Like you and I had growing up, just those pillars that you can always count on. Super important to be able to have those to lean on. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. I just need to ask you, how are you guys not finding out the gender? Like my wife says that I'm one of the most patient people she's ever met. And like, as soon as the first possible day where we could have known what gender it was, we were like doing everything we could to figure it out. Like we were like, just, as soon as her phone rang and it was the doctor that was going to tell us what it was, like we were ready right away. But I've had a couple other buddies that have waited until their baby came out, and I was like, man, I respect that, because I could not do that. So hats off to you and you and your wife for that.
I'll be honest, I wasn't on board for the first.
Okay.
First, every minute of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to change anything. It didn't matter. But it was brutal. But at the end, you have so few just genuine surprises in life. There's so few huge events. Like getting married, buying a new house. A new child coming into your life. It's like you don't have too many of those experiences. So just having that extra surprise in it at the end was just kind of like that little cherry on top. And when I'll say but when my wife decided to do it again, with this one, it's just, I had the experience in it. It is what it is. And honestly, number 2 is going by so much faster. If you guys decide to have a second, you'll see. But like, we still got to set up our nursery again, get it all decorated, and we're 6 weeks out, maybe. So it's just completely different, because that first one keeps you so much busier. It's a little bit easier to not just focus on it. Like, I gotta know. But I already had that one. That one's out of the way. So.
Oh man, I like that perspective though. I haven't heard the so few like legitimate surprises in life, so I like that. I'm gonna have to remember that one, but it's a good perspective to have for sure.
It's like draft day,
Yeah.
Draft, like you have no idea what the possibilities are.
Yeah. So. As long as it's one and they're healthy, we're good.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Definitely.
That's funny.
Yeah, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and then she's just now getting to that age where she's wanting to participate in activities. So I'm curious, do you have any plans for your kid when they get older and certain sports or activities that you want to try to encourage, or what kind of plans do you have for that?
Yeah, I mean, I like to call myself an athlete, but my wife is a better athlete. She played volleyball at Oregon State and could have played basketball too, but
The dream
so I
team.
mean, yeah. So we're hoping our daughter Halia is able to have the athletic genes too, but she's in the 98th percentile in height right now, so we're hoping that continues to go up. But her my wife's mom always comments on how long her fingers are, so she was like, she's gonna be a great piano player. And both of us are like, we have zero musical talent, so she's not getting that from us if she does. But man, I just playing whatever sport or doing whatever she loves, or whatever she feels led to. Just whatever she's passionate about, we'll support her, we'll encourage her, and just hope it's on the basketball court. But no, we're excited and gonna let her try out everything that she wants to, and just see what what she does. But we're just glad she's healthy right now and trying to get her left hand involved as much as we can, so she's using that one. But we're having a blast, and we're excited for those days, but we're really enjoying these days too, where she's before she's running around all over the place.
Yeah, that's true, right? You got to enjoy where it's at now.
Yeah. What does your daughter play? What does she do?
We started with swimming. I'm a swimmer.
Yeah.
So I started teaching her how to swim when she was an infant.
Yeah.
But we've had her in gymnastics, basketball, soccer, and I do triathlons as well. So I've gotten her a bike, and she's recently been taking interest in going on bike rides and runs with me. So I'm excited because she's picking up the sports that I like to do. But I'm totally interested in letting her do whatever. So we got her into piano. So I thought it was funny that you brought up piano. I'm not a musician at all, so it'd be cool to have that in the house and her serenade me with some piano solos.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, just letting them kind of figure it out for themselves, I think, is the best way. And I've seen so many kids where the parents want it so much more than the kids do, where they just get kind of burnt out from the parents being all over them. And I think it's really important to just kind of let the kids let them be kids. Like, you're not getting recruited by Oregon or Oregon State when you're 10 years old or 12 years old. Like, let the kids go out and have fun and make their own mistakes and learn from it. But just enjoying being young and being able to play sports with your friends and doing all that. So I think we're definitely going to raise her with that mindset of kind of letting her go out and figure it out, and just learn from experience.
Definitely. I got one last question for you, kind of going off of what we're talking about. Do you have any advice for young baseball athletes out there who are going to try to do what you've already done?
I would say just watch the game. I think baseball is just in a weird spot right now where it's not the most exciting sport. Like, there's football and basketball that's everywhere and around you, but just watch the game and find ways to learn from whenever you watch, and pick a favorite player and just watch what they do. Go on YouTube and watch interviews of stuff they've done, but just put time into learning and just finding clues of what makes Mike Trout so good, or makes Jacob deGrom so good, or whatever it is that it might be. But just genuinely loving the game and loving every day that you get to play it, and just playing other sports too. I mean, that kind of maybe isn't the best advice people would think, but being just a general overall good athlete is going to help you so much. And colleges love seeing multi-sport athletes, and it's going to help you to just be a better overall just athlete and stronger, and just gives your arm time away. I think that's what was so good about Oregon is you have to play other sports because it's 40 degrees and raining for half the year. So you go play football, you go play basketball, and that helps you to run faster and jump higher and gives your body a rest. So I would say just watch the game and learn from it. I don't know, just enjoy every single day that you get to play it. Who knows when's the last time you're gonna put on a uniform or whatever it may be. So just genuinely enjoy every day that you get to play it, and enjoy that time with your friends. I mean, I think we all look back on those days, whatever sport you played, and miss those days of just going and playing pick up, basketball, football, baseball, and just there's no other worry in the world other than just playing with your friends. So just enjoying those days as much as you can.
Definitely. I think a lot of the kids are feeling that now because they've missed out on their season because of the pandemic. And so exciting now that Oregon's just finally getting green and the sun's coming out. So, the sports are going to roll back out, and I'm excited to watch these athletes get back at it.
Yeah, 100%. It's, it definitely was a challenging year, but, I'm excited that kids are going to get back out and be able to play, and that stuff is going to, start rolling out kind of back to normal.
Definitely.
Andrew, appreciate your time very much. We don't want to keep you too much longer. It's probably getting around dinner time out there for you. Get that. You guys got a personal chef out there? Yeah.
We got our breakfast and lunch, but I'm the personal chef for dinner, so I got to go run out to the store and probably cook up some steak for tonight. Ooh. I think so. But yeah, I think that'll be on the menu for tonight.
There you go. Well, again, very much appreciate your time, and thank you for being our first guest here. We'll look forward to watching you progress through the year, and hopefully we don't have any snafus with COVID, and you guys can get every game in that's scheduled. So fingers crossed on that, and we wish you the absolute best of luck this year.
Yeah, thank you. This was a lot of fun, you guys. I appreciate it, and excited to follow the podcast and see all the great stuff you guys do, and just the impact that you make in that community is exciting. So best of luck to you guys, and appreciate your time.